just a massive win, obviously, to stay in pace here with Barcelona. Just 1 point back. Obviously, Barcelona yet to play this weekend, but a much-needed victory for the Merengues. And now, as we mentioned, just 1 point behind their rivals. To break this down, we bring in our Spanish football correspondent, Phil Kitchen-Melendez. 2 days in a row chatting to Phil. You got to love it. Phil, it was getting, we talked about it yesterday, it was getting to be panic time, clearly, at Madrid. An important win, still leave it with a little bit flair for the dramatic, leave it late as well. But what does this mean for Real Madrid getting these 3 points?
I mean, it could be season-defining, genuinely. This felt like a really, really important weekend for Real Madrid. This was a potential massive banana skin for them. Away at a Celta Vigo side who were flying, bang in form. Real Madrid were missing 10 players, had 10 players unavailable for this game, some really important players as well. And this felt like a game where they could really drop points. And if Barcelona win tomorrow, they could have gone 6 or 7 points clear had Real Madrid not got anything from this game. But they did. And Real Madrid got something from this game, not necessarily because they improved their play. We've been speaking a lot on the show throughout the season, or certainly for the last few months, that Real Madrid don't play good football in the final third. There isn't a structure, there isn't an idea, and they're not well set out on the field. But they do have individual players, and we saw that again tonight. It wasn't a brilliant performance in the final third, but what it was a much more committed performance from Real Madrid. They pressed a lot better. They were aggressive in getting the ball back. We saw a lot more commitment, a lot more energy and intensity. Which, listen, guys, you know, that's bare minimum. You know, you need to show that bare minimum, but they haven't been showing that in recent matches. They definitely didn't show that against Getafe on Monday night. So not a massive improvement in the style of football played from Real Madrid, but big improvement in the levels of energy and commitment. And if you look at this starting 11, Thiago Pitach was really, really impressive, I thought. A youngster, only his second start in La Liga. He's still a teenager coming through the youth academy. A really big performance from him. Off the bench, we saw Palacios come in as well and help out in the latter stages. So this was a team that were missing some massive players. And then some important youngsters stepped up. Aurélien Tchouaméni scored a really, really important goal and continued his very impressive form. And it was a huge win, a really, really important win.
Phil, I want to get your perspective on how the inside of the camp is feeling right now, because, I mean, post-match quotes are always important, right, at any point. But then to talk about this game and this evening as maybe a turning point and a building block for what could be a successful championship season. You see the quotes here from Arbeloa. We'll look back on this night and potentially, hopefully, this was such a big win that it could lead to a La Liga. How do you reflect on those quotes from Arbeloa?
Well, you know, they're only a point behind Barcelona now. So, I mean, it feels ridiculous that they should be so close in the title race, because I think there is a huge disparity in terms of the quality of football play between them and Barcelona. But they are still close. And we've seen Real Madrid in the past win trophies, somehow just getting it done. I've been saying it consistently on the show over the last few weeks. I don't think Real Madrid will win the league, because I think over the course of 38 matches, the best team tends to win, and the best team at the moment is clearly Barcelona, but they're there. And the minimum that Real Madrid have to do is compete. The very, very best. No, I've swapped that. The minimum that Real Madrid have to do is win. Real Madrid have to win everything. Everybody knows that. But if you can't win, you have to compete. And it's felt like in the last few games, obviously back-to-back league defeats for the first time in 7 years, they haven't really competed in those two games, and they've let Barcelona re-establish a healthy lead. Tonight, it was about competing. It was about showing that we're still competitive, we're still in this, and we still have some kind of belief and fight in us. A lot of people were writing Real Madrid off before this game. Maybe me included. Maybe I didn't think they were going to win tonight. I genuinely didn't think they were going to win tonight. And to be fair, I was close to being right if it wasn't for a 94th minute deflected shot from Federico Valverde. But hey, they got the win, they got over the line, and we've seen that this is a side that knows how to fight until the end, until the very least, and they showed tonight that they haven't forgotten that.
Yeah, clearly, till the very end, they almost didn't get those 3 points. They needed every single minute of that game, but we've seen this before from Real Madrid. Despite the win, Phil, it doesn't change the fact that the timing for their next fixture, the first leg against Manchester City in the Champions League, it doesn't make it any better, right? Because the timing is still not good for Madrid. Missing so many players, obviously missing their best player in Kylian Mbappe, but what does this win do to the group that is available and will be fit to play in that game as far as confidence is concerned going into such a massive tie?
No, it's really, really important because the trajectory had been really negative for Real Madrid. Real Madrid don't lose very many games. Real Madrid don't lose back-to-back league games. Like I said, it hadn't happened for 7 years. Almost everybody in this squad doesn't know what it's like to lose back-to-back league games for Real Madrid. So it was really, really negative coming into this. And I think it will put their spirits, in a much better place than it were. I mean, you can't beat Manchester City just by spirits, but I think, going into the game, they will feel more confident. And also, I think it's an important caveat, Real Madrid in the Champions League, it's a different beast. Real Madrid in the Champions League has this aura. We've spoken about it before. It's not just that they believe that they're strong in this competition. It's the opponents think, oh no, it's Real Madrid in the Champions League, and Man City have suffered it time and time again. And they will think, not these guys again. Even when we're better than them, somehow they beat us. So they've got this aura about them in the Champions League. Even when they're not playing well, they've been able to win the competition. Remember, Real Madrid have once finished 5th in La Liga, 5th, and won the Champions League. So they do have this aura about them in the Premier competition in Europe. And let's see how they get on Wednesday night. I would like to make a big, bold prediction, because even if logic dictates that this is not a very good Real Madrid team that is not playing well and missing loads of good players, we've still seen it in the past that they've been able to turn things around in Europe.
Amazing as always, Phil. Yeah. Appreciate you, man. I think my last one to you would just be the insight, the confidence. You even have spoken about yourself in terms of not having that, maybe their inner belief. But do you think Real Madrid could do it? I mean, we do these weekly check-ins, so I want to know from your perspective, on our weekly therapy session about Real Madrid, do you see anything that is giving you an inkling that they could be champions this year?
Champions of Spain? No. Champions of Europe? Almost certainly not, but not definitely no. There is, like I said, there is this tiny little bit of illogical aspect to Real Madrid in Europe, where everything's saying, no, not this year, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, and then somehow it does still happen. But yeah, I think there's a lot of work to do for Real Madrid, both on and off the pitch. I think this is going to be a summer of major upheaval. There's going to be players leaving. There needs to be some players coming as well. I think there might be almost certainly a new guy in charge in terms of the coach. So I think it's going to be a really, really busy summer for Real Madrid, and an important one as well, because this season, if I had to put any money on it, I think it's going to be another trophyless season for Real Madrid.
But again, you never want to... I wouldn't recommend betting against Real Madrid in the Champions League, despite where they are. He's right. I mean, I've been wrong many a time about Real Madrid, despite their form in the league. Somehow they can able to get things across the line in the Champions League that you won't typically see. Phil, thanks for joining us, my man. Appreciate you.
Pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Let's keep the conversation going here a little bit more, Jaydee, because I look at this side, and, I have a couple of friends that are big-time Real Madrid fans, and they say that this is the worst team in 20 years. And I said, well, what about last year? And they said, oh, it's the worst team in 19 years. Despite all that, despite all of the noise surrounding this club, for me, the wrong decision in letting Xabi Alonso go so early. How are they still a point behind Barcelona?
Because they're Real Madrid, and I think we need to take into consideration what Phil was alluding to there. There is an aura about them. There are these type of games where even an informed Celta Vigo, and you can see Álvaro Arbeloa's face right there, he knows the pressure that's on his shoulders. He knows also that this is almost the impossible job. If Xabi Alonso, who had done the Invincibles in the Bundesliga, wasn't good enough or qualified to lead this team and to handle the egos in there, then no disrespect to Arbeloa, but how was he supposed to go in there and command that respect instantly? So what you can do is work with the qualities that you do have. The qualities you do have is you still have individuals that are some of the best players in their positions in the world. It's how do you bring that out of them? How do you bring Trent back into a place where he's confident in who he is again? How do you see in terms of what you're seeing from Tchouaméni? How do you get that consistently from him? Arda Güler, who's had up and down moments in the season, disciplinary problems we've had throughout the squad, and of course the absence of Kylian Mbappe in any walk of life is going to be harder. But just reinstall an element of stability and remind them, you are Real Madrid. You are the pinnacle when it comes to football. You are the first thing that people think of. You are bigger than the game. And that aura, that confidence is enough to carry you through in results like tonight.